What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Test Your Might, the weekly video game debate show. My name is Mike, and today we are discussing the Xbox Bethesda Game Showcase, Summer Game Fest stuff, and a whole lot more. But first, let me introduce you to the panel. He is none other than Mafia Lord himself, aka Stubby Stan, aka Cicero Holmes. How you doing today?
I am doing great, Mike. It's great to be back. Do me a favor and say hi to your mother for me.
All right. I will. I did that last time, by the way. Last time I saw
Thank
my
you
mom,
very much.
I said hi. I said hi for you.
Thank you.
Finally.
Thank you very much.
Finally.
Yeah,
Finally,
exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
Speaking of the Duck Man himself, Rubber Duck, how you doing today, Justin?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I had a little bit of a break, and I'm back ready to debate this time.
Yes. And long overdue. It has been way too long. We have none other than Shareef Jackson from ShareefJackson.com. Shareef, my friend, how you doing today?
I need a cool moniker. I should have thought about that before coming.
Yeah, you want something?
Like the Mafia Lord and the Duck. You know?
Do you know why Cicero is the Mafia Lord?
I do. I'm not familiar with the Duck though, but
okay.
It's because when you squeeze me, I quack. You know.
Quack, quack, baby.
So I guess I'll be like the crier then. There's our moniker. The crier.
Well, we can.
Squeeze
What's your isn't it Shokka? We could call you Shokka, right? Isn't it?
Sure, yeah. Like that's my D&D character. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
My main D&D character.
Or we could be Beefy Reef, like, you know, back in his hip hop days.
Man, Beefy Reef, which is still my Yahoo email address that I use for spam.
Beefy Reef. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so if Shareef emails you from Beefy Reef, he doesn't really like you.
Or that's not me, y'all. That is
right. So it's not you. Right. Either way, you should be upset.
Like,
if you get Beefy Reef 2 at Yahoo, that's not him. That's not him. That's
Right.
Beefy Reef does not live in Nigeria, is not a prince, and is not does not need your bank account immediately to get out of prison. So don't trust him.
Listeners,
Beefy Reef 2 is Shareef Jackson, is Ice Cube's son, Shareef Jackson.
Oh, dude. So I don't think this not a spoiler to say somebody that was in the recent Obi-Wan episode.
Yes.
Yeah, Ice Cube's son.
Yeah. So like O'Shea Jackson Jr., who you know has like been in like a lot of stuff at this point, plays a pretty good character, I thought.
Enjoyed.
And like he was like tweeting about it. He was like tweeting all this shit about Order 66 and stuff. I was like, okay. So I replied to one of his tweets, and I was just hoping that he would be like, "Is that you?" You know,
Sure.
you know. I was just hoping that like I could leverage that, but he did not reply.
Oh man,
I wanted to be like, nice job, bro. You know, because bro was like one of those, you know, slang that
absolutely
that like younger kids say. So I'm not necessarily saying you're your brother, but you know,
right.
Maybe say it.
Just trying.
We got to get you verified, so that way, that way we can fix this.
Yeah, I mean, people with blue check marks don't reply to you, so.
That is not true, sir. That is not true.
Sometimes.
Yes.
All right. Listeners, please leave us a review. If you liked all those shenanigans from the Shenaniman themselves, then please leave us a review on any podcast app that you are using. Spotify does have a rating system on mobile only, so leave us a star review there. Most importantly, though, hit us up on Apple, because Apple is honestly where majority of you are listening. I do see the stats, so please just take a moment of your time. Either just leave a rating on Apple Podcasts or maybe even a review. We would love to see the reviews pour in so that we can read them on the show. We really, really want to share your guys' thoughts here. as we're podcasting. So, and if you are watching us on YouTube, please like, comment, and especially subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, so we could get that custom link. We really just want to be able to say youtube.com/whatthefunpod, something like that. So, and speaking of What the Fun Pod, quick heads up, if you are listening to us, the easiest way to find us on YouTube or any podcast app of choice is What the Fun Pod with no spaces. That's how the best way to find us. So keep that in mind when you're looking. Just a little bit of housekeeping. What the Fun Show, we're doing a bunch of Star Wars stuff. So we had a bunch of Obi-Wan content, as well as we are reviewing the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So take a look for our brand new episode on episodes 3 and 4. Should be coming out next week sometime. We had to delay it just due to some family stuff with me, Justin, and as well as Joe. So stay tuned for all of that. And yeah, we're really excited for the future of what content we're bringing. We are skipping the question of the day this week, guys, because we have so much stuff to go through. So let's get through what have you been playing. Let's go quick round. Justin, I'm going to go your way first.
One, I tried the new Minecraft update with my daughter. The wild update. That was pretty cool. There's frogs now. Other than that, Mike and I started Sniper Elite 5 today. Co-op. Immediately shot something to blow him up and almost kill him.
Yeah, it was terrible.
He's like, oh, did you set the fuse? I'm like, no, I didn't. And he walked by it. And I'm just like, all right. Great times.
So you could set a fuse on, a thing that you have to blow up that the Nazis are using. And so I said, did you set the charge? And he's like, no. So I go over there to set the fuse, and this guy decides to shoot it as I'm trying to light the fuse.
It was great because you see him standing there, and then the cutscene plays, which scares you already. And then the cutscene fades back, and he's just on the ground dead. I saved the clip. It was awesome.
It was so funny. Oh, man.
Other than that, I tried the demo for Metal Hellsinger, which is the rhythm rock metal shoot 'em up first person shooter game. I not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at it. I enjoyed it. I'm hitting perfects and I like it. Rhythm games have always been one of my fortes, so yeah, that's what I've been playing.
I tried that demo and I instantly texted Justin. I was like, you are going to love this game, and it is very good to hear that you did enjoy it. I loved Metal Hellsinger. It is probably my most anticipated game coming up. It was the demo. It's just like this short, just like this first level. Honestly, it is something that I'm looking so forward to. So, yeah, I'll just continue. I'm continuing Mass Effect 2. I've been playing through that. It's my first playthrough. So doing a bunch of the companion missions and stuff like that. So those are actually really fun.
Oh man. So good.
I was told by many people, listeners, if you've been listening for a while, I don't do side quests because I'm a dad and I just got to get through these dang games. And I was told by several people, including Cicero, including Cam Hawkins, who's been on the show, that
and me now.
Mass Effect, and Shareef now, that Mass Effect 2, I cannot skip the companion missions.
Do not.
So I am doing them, and I am thankful for your guys' recommendation. Yeah, Mass Effect 2 is awesome. Play it. Legendary Edition. It's 4K. It looks amazing. Yeah, it's on Game Pass. Game Pass, right? Speaking of Game Pass, we'll get to that later. I've also been playing Lego Harry Potter with my son, and it's just been a blast. So we're in Prisoner of Azkaban, so the third movie. He's like, we're almost done with the game, and I'm like, dude, we got like 5 more movies to play through, so don't worry. Don't worry. So we'll go to our guest next. Shareef, what have you been playing?
And like that is my favorite movie as well out of that franchise. Always Destiny 2 for me. Really enjoying the new season, new dungeon that they released, which is really, really fun, farmable, all that good stuff. And also I've been replaying. I guess I never got all the way through Bug Snacks when it originally came out on the PS5. But they released it on Game Pass and the Switch, and I decided to just pick it up again, and it's so fun. I don't know. It's just my kind of game. But it's silly, but it has great dialogue, great silly dialogue, like way more dialogue than you'd expect from a game that's kind of like this. It's not entirely geared toward kids. Like, it definitely has some themes in it that are like, pretty, I wouldn't say mature, like, NC-17 or something, but it's definitely some like serious stuff.
Bug Snacks NC-17 version.
NC-17 version. Yeah,
that's a remake right there.
That's Sausage Party.
Yeah, but no, it's
Bug Snacks' Sausage Party edition.
Oh god. Yeah. It's just a fun game, and I mean, you do have to like fetch quests. I mean, it is a game of fetch quests, but if you don't mind those, like, I think it's pretty rewarding there. I've also been I downloaded this game that is, I think, a couple years old, but like I heard it on a show and like it sounded pretty good, called Full Metal Furies. It's basically like a beat 'em up, it's like a side scrolling, a beat 'em up. I'm really into those. And I've been having a blast with it. It's just really fun. Like, you're fighting as like bunnies and stuff. And yeah, it's if you like beat 'em ups, I would definitely say to like check it out. I think I got it for like $20 or something on the Switch. It's great.
Awesome. Good stuff. Cicero, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of sports ball this week. Madden, MLB The Show, a little bit of NBA 2K. Yeah, that's kind of, repetitive stuff is where I've had a lot of time. I was also on vacation, and the place I was staying at had pinball machines, so I was playing a lot of pinball too.
There you go.
Played, so we had the Simpsons pinball game,
okay,
South Park, and Game of Thrones. Was it Game of Thrones?
I'm sure they made it.
I think it. Yeah, I think it was a Game of Thrones. I can't remember I think it was a Game of Thrones game in the middle, but I'm not positive. But anyway, I was playing those. I was playing a lot of pinball in Michigan. That was a lot of fun. I also tried Metal Hellsinger demo after your recommendation. I had two problems with it. The first problem was I did the calibration, and I think the audio calibration was off, right? Like, I tried the calibration the calibrator, and it gave me a recommendation that didn't seem to work for me in the game. Mm-hmm. The second part, the part that I don't think a lot of people have a hard time guessing, is I'm not the biggest metal fan. I couldn't get in the metal pocket, right? So this is a rhythm game where you're supposed to attack on the beat, but I kept missing the beat right? And I feel pretty confident that I can find the beat, but at the same time, like, the rhythm for metal, right? And it's
super
timing
you got a headbang
is different.
You literally have to
different.
headbang during it. You've got it.
Right. Yeah, so it was different, but I think my calibration was off, and I went through the tutorial, and then as soon as I got through the tutorial, the first mission, I tried, and I died, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I did the thing. Yeah,
I skipped the calibration.
Hero days.
You skipped the calibration?
Yeah, I skipped the calibration. I just went straight in, and it was perfect for me.
I do not recommend that.
It was fine for me.
The biggest thing with this is that I do recommend. First of all, if this was available on a CRT TV, like, we'd be living in dreams right now, like, no lag whatsoever. But also, I do recommend playing with headphones and doing the audio calibration. So that's just my recommendation with that, because I tried playing with Bluetooth headphones over, connected directly to my TV, and the audio was just off too much. So that's what I recommend, a wired set into your controller. That's just a recommendation. Justin apparently is just perfect. So
I turned the sensitivity down just a tad, but other than that, it was I do
want to run through the demo again with the sensitivity down. I thought it was a little high for my liking as well. So
I agree.
All right, that's what we have been playing. You guys, we went through that really fast and for good reason. So listeners, if you were if you like video games and you were living under a rock, then you might be spoiled from what we're about to say throughout this whole like quote unquote E3 time period. Obviously E3 didn't happen this year, which news guys, E3 did come out and say that they're coming back with a physical event next year. So we'll see how that turns out. They did. There was news on it. I know you're laughing. I'm just stating facts.
A tree fell in the forest.
Yeah. We'll see.
Hey, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So anyway, Summer Games Fest happened. The Sony State of Play also happened, which was kind of wrapped up in all this Summer Games Fest stuff. So we had a reaction to that last week's episode. So go check that out. But this weekend we are reacting to the Summer Games Fest as well as the Xbox Bethesda Showcase. So I'm going to ask you guys, Cicero, I'll go your way first. We're going to stick to Summer Games Fest and some of the other smaller stuff around that time period. So like this is like Thursday and then like the Devolver Digital stuff and something like that. Like what were some of the things that stuck out to you from those pickings?
Well, since first and foremost, since everyone was worried about it, the pinball game that I was forgetting was not Game of Thrones. It was Lord of the Rings. It was Lord of the Rings.
Okay. How could you forget that?
Better.
Yeah, pinball game. I don't know how I could have forgotten that, but I did. It is a terrible thing. Summer Games Fest was cool. Like I love all the goofy stuff that you get to see at Devolver. They always excite me. And their presentation yet again.
That was hilarious. That was one of the first ones I've watched.
That was very fun.
Oh man. Yeah. They're, it's awesome. I don't know if there was necessarily one game in particular that stood out to me where I was like, but like there are a bunch of games that are there. But and I know that there are like, there are going to be more games than there is time, and I'm going to have to make decisions about where I'm spending my time, what games I'm spending my time with, and that may come down to budget or availability, right? Mm-hmm. Like even though all of the games are available via download, how accessible those games are.
Yeah. Is there one game from the Summer Games Fest with Jeff Keighley that kind of stood out to you, Cicero? Need me to send you a link?
No. You know what? This is gonna sound kind of boring, but Flashback.
Yeah,
probably
Flashback too. That's not boring.
Because it's an old game. So, but like, just revisiting that with kind of updated graphics, but the same. Mm-hmm. I'm digging.
Okay, cool. Flashback 2 got announced. I don't know if it was like a long-awaited sequel because I don't know if people like really expected it to happen, but it's happening.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that series Out of This World Flashback definitely has a cult following for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There had been rumors, right? Like there have been rumors / like wish lists, where every now and then somebody would call out of This World or Flashback as a thing.
Just like a random tweet, Flashback.
Yes, right.
Shareef, why don't you sneak on in here and talk about some Summer Games Fest stuff? What did you like? What did you like seeing?
I mean, most of the stuff I liked was stuff I already knew about, but it was just cool to see some more of. Like seeing some Cuphead 2 stuff was dope. Mm-hmm. I mean, the game, it looks the same, but the same looks really good. So like, I didn't necessarily need like a better looking Cuphead because it already looked pretty great.
It's so visually stunning and appealing.
Yeah. That's all I need is new levels. I don't even care if it's Cuphead 2. Like I just need new levels, new bosses. That's it. I don't need like a mini map or any of that. Just give me new levels, new bosses. That's it. I liked, and this is, I don't know why I do like this, but I do. The Guile reveal for Street Fighter like it's not a surprise that Guile was in the
got
game,
a goatee.
right?
Brolic Guile.
But for some reason, and I tweeted this out, I was like, "Yo, this looks like the Guile, and like not like physically looks like the gameplay from like the bootleg Street Fighter 2 machines that used to be at the bodega."
Oh yeah,
because he was doing Sonic Booms everywhere, flash kick, Sonic Boom, 5 Sonic Booms in a row. He was doing. I was like, "Yo, this is straight up like a bootleg Street Fighter cabinet."
Yeah.
So
man, those were the best.
So I dug that. I've definitely been excited for the Turtles game ever since they first announced it, but finding out that it's 6-player co-op just sounds bananas.
And Game Pass.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, and it's
6-player co-op.
Yeah, 6-player co-op.
Yeah.
So who do you get to play?
I don't know how.
Who do you get to play?
I don't know
as?
if it's gonna just April.
Well, so
and
you
Casey
have
Jones.
all the Turtles. You have
April,
Master Splinter, April, and
Casey Jones.
Yeah, and it's coming out in like a couple days. You know.
Yeah, June 16th and Game Pass day 1.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So I'm definitely excited.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so like not really any new games, but I was just excited for this.
Justin, the internet is dubbing Summer Games Fest live as space horror survivor games. So I mean, this was your showcase.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
What
agree.
things stuck out to you?
So back in like, God, it could have been 18 or 17. There was a game that was announced at the awards. It was called Witch Hunt or Witchfire.
Witchfire.
And we didn't hear much of it for a long time. And finally we got some gameplay footage, and it looks awesome. It looks like a first-person shooter with magic, and you're doing abilities, and you're fighting enemies as a team or by yourself. It looked good. I'm excited for it. Hopefully it holds up to what it looked like, because it looked good. That's for sure. You know, I know I'm the scary game player here, but
no, it looked good. Good to me too. Anything else stand out to you?
There was obviously Turtles. Let me see. Fall Guys coming to Xbox. That's going to be huge. Season 1 on Xbox.
So long?
And free to play.
That takes so long.
I have no idea, but it's going to bring in a new market of people, of course, and it's going to rejuvenate the game, which kind of died off. So I think that it's going to do good for the Xbox community, especially with Game Pass. Free to play.
I mean, coming to the Switch and Xbox and crossplay and free.
It's a good party game. The world needs more party games, and I think it's going to be good.
Anything else, Justin?
Nah, lots of scary stuff, but those are the two big ones for sure that hit me.
Yeah, so listeners, send me some good karma. I filled out an application to try to play Plucky Squire, the Plucky Squire game from Devolver Digital, early before it comes out. So hopefully we could get that some impressions out. But man, that looked awesome. It's this like 2D game with an incredible art style that you can jump off the 2D plane and go into the 3D environment surrounding you. And man, just check out the trailer of this. It looked awesome. It's definitely one to look forward to. So, yeah, we talked about Metal Hellsinger already. We played that. Obviously the turtle stuff. You know, I'm excited for Midnight Suns, Marvel's Midnight Suns, and I wanted to mention this because I was kind of having a little PTSD rather, because they revealed Spider-Man, and I was just waiting for the Sony exclusive announcement for Spider-Man after it. I was just like, oh man, is this going to be Avengers all over again? But no, thankfully not. Yeah, they showed a bunch of Call of Duty stuff.
That Call of Duty trailer was way too long. It was way too long.
It was.
I do want to say they did use Metallica in the trailer, so that brought my hype up a little bit. But
it was great. It was just too long.
Yeah.
Too long.
That's true.
All right, guys. Let me get your before we move on to a more focused on the Xbox Bethesda stuff from today, as of this recording. Guys, I want to get your input on the Last of Us remake.
The Last of Us Part 1?
Part
Yeah, part
remake,
one.
PS5 version. Justin, I'm gonna go way you're first. Like, I know listeners that probably on the surface you think that we lean Xbox, which, I mean, we'll wear that on our shoulders. We kind of do, but like, don't take this session as like a bashing thing. But like, Justin, did we need this? Like, what's up with this?
So they did just remake it or remaster it on the PS4. It didn't really need it. I understand some of the gameplay mechanics could be a little updated to modern, but I've seen videos now of side-by-sides, and it almost looks like the PS4 one looks a little better at times. And to split it into parts is another whole debate. To make a game that isn't that old and then also break it into parts and sell it at full price is kind of rough for fans.
They're breaking it into parts? What is that?
Well, you got Last of Us Part 1 and then...
Oh, well, I mean, so you're saying they're not putting it together with like a Part 2 remaster?
Yes, like with both of the games together, you're getting one for the same price as if buying it full.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
It's a ground up remake, so I mean, for the PS5, so there's credence to the $70 price tag. I don't know if people will enjoy that, but Shareef, you got a PS5. Are you playing this again?
I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time, but at the same time, I think it's just utterly unnecessary. I mean, the version that I have is great. Runs at 60 frames. Is it 4K? Mm-hmm. No. But like, I don't think just that is enough to remake this game. This is a great studio. I'd like to see them put that effort toward other projects. Now, this is gonna sell. So if their thing is like, hey, we need to make this to fund those next projects, then okay, I get it. But as just a pure gaming fan, like, this is like totally unnecessary.
Cicero.
I don't know if it's going to sell as well as they would like it to, or maybe need it to, because of exactly what Shareef just said, right? Like, they're trying to market this game like it's a Grand Theft Auto, but it's not Grand Theft Auto, right? Like, if GTA 5 was just GTA 5 and not GTA 5 or GTA Online, we wouldn't get 7 iterations of that game. That game is available on every single console, has been available on every single console since the 360.
Mm-hmm.
And now The Last of Us will be on every single console since the PS3.
Since the PS3.
So,
right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like, even 4K 120, right? Like, if they do 4K 120, I guarantee Shareef will buy it. I guarantee it.
They already announced in the presentation that it's only hitting 4K 60.
4K 60. Yeah. So like, I don't see the reason to do this without both of the games, right? Because they're singular experiences.
Second game just came out.
Right, but it was but it came out on the PS4. Right? So if I'm going to play this game, I've already got this game. Like, if I've got a PS5, I've already got this game. I already own this game. Mm-hmm. That I can play right now, and the sequel.
Not only that, it's in the PlayStation Plus collection too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I got a PS5, that was one of the games that they made available to you when you bought a PS5.
Yeah, Justin, you were gonna say something?
I already own it.
So like with this game, you play this game for the story, but most of us, obviously, we've played it on PS3, PS4. We know the story. So yeah, we're going to get a better visual bump, but we just got that. We're not going to pay the full price for just that one game. Like Cicero said, I would rather see them bring up the 4 Uncharted games that have been long since outdated and make them look better as a bundle. And then people could experience those stories as a whole. Mm-hmm. I think this one game they're trying to milk it for everything they can and treat it like a GTA, like Cicero said. And it's just not that. The story is great. It's a great game, no doubt, but I don't think it's the right move.
Yeah, in its defense, it does. Last of Us Part 2 had better gameplay, and they're basically putting that into the original here because it's a ground up remake. And as well as, I think it's totally fair that they want to. I'm going to use the word milk, but I don't know if I necessarily mean that. But it's totally fair to milk it in the sense as the HBO show is also coming out too, that could potentially follow this kind of like same storyline. Shareef, you were going to say something.
No, just that you're right. We do play for the story, and The Last of Us has so many side stories they could have made like a little mini, 8-hour campaign out of. Like it could have been like a Uncharted Lost Legacy kind of thing, or like I would much rather that. Like give me another like Left Behind style.
Right.
1.5 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The Last of Us stories.
Yeah. It's like I would much rather like sell that for like $30, as like a 8-hour campaign. I'd rather them do that than
which is interesting because they have a sister studio in Insomniac who did that basically with Miles Morales, and it sold gangbusters, and it was basically wasn't a full-blown sequel, but it was that kind of like mini experience that, as you're saying, Naughty Dog could have gotten out of the original Last of Us story. So I don't know, Cicero, I think you had something else to say, and then we'll move on.
No, man. I just think that they needed a Ballad of Gay Tony for The Last of Us, and they just didn't do it. I mean, I guess they've got this material already, and they can just put it through the Last of Us 2 PS5 engine.
Just crank it.
And right, just crank it.
It's the Nintendo method. Nintendo's been doing it for years, and that's what they're trying to jump on that train.
So yeah.
All right. I did just send a link for the IGN Everything Announced for the Xbox Bethesda showcase. So guys, I'm going to be talking through some of this stuff, and just stop me when you want to chat about something. I know that there's a lot to go through, so listeners, buckle up. We're going to talk to you about the Bethesda and Xbox showcase. So they started off with what I believe was a very good choice, was gameplay reveal for Redfall. This was a game that was supposedly coming out during this summer, and then there were rumors that it was delayed till fall, and then it's officially delayed till early 2023. Did you guys enjoy this like gameplay reveal for Redfall? Shareef, we'll go your way first.
I mean, I agree. I thought it was a good starter. It didn't really excite me personally, but I thought it being sort of lighthearted and humorous, and I thought it was I thought it was a good like sort of like not too serious and not too soft start. But me, personally, the game didn't really interest me at all. To be honest, it felt kind of just not exciting for me personally.
More of a zombie guy, don't like vampires.
yeah, anti-vamp.
Anti-vamp.
It was just like, I don't know, like sometimes these like games, it kind of reminded me of my relationship with Borderlands, where that humor just doesn't really hit with me for some reason. And I feel like the games ride so much on that if it doesn't hit you, like all the rest of it kind of falls flat. And I kind of felt like that about the Redfall trailer. Like when I heard them just, when like she was like describing all the other characters, and they had those little like descriptions of them on the bottom, I was just like, okay, yeah, like you got student loans, okay, great, great. I don't know, I don't mean to be a party pooper, but
no, you're fine.
It I didn't do much. It's a good. I thought it was a good choice to start. Yeah. Given all that I saw, I thought it was a good choice to start, but not really.
I think what it did was set the precedence for the show, that they were here to show gameplay, and that's kind of what they did throughout the show, which was
that's
nice.
what Sarah said, right up top.
Yeah. Justin, you're a Twilight fan, you know, you like vampires. Redfall? Is this tickling your fancy?
So visually, it looked good. It had the voice acting, it had the graphics, it had the blood splatter. It looked good. My only gripe with it is, funny that you brought up zombies, is because it felt like the enemies were sticky to me in that trailer. It felt like they were kind of like slow moving and kind of like just sticky is the best way to put it. They didn't seem like they were moving quick, and vampires should be moving quickly, in my opinion. A lot quicker than zombies should, and Left 4 Dead sets a precedence for zombies. So I feel like it looked good. Voice acting, gameplay, sure, great. Work on your AI a little bit for the enemies. I think that is something that they should definitely tweak a little bit, for my opinion anyway. But it looked, for a first gameplay, fantastic.
Cicero, you like vampires, right?
Oh man, I love him.
He's more of a True Blood guy.
I'm in training. It's from dusk till dawn. The thing that was interesting to me was I do think it was a great start, right? And it was a great precedent, right? That we were coming out and we were showing gameplay and lacking two really big, highly anticipated, a kind of front of the line quadruple A titles for this showcase. The right way to do it is to start it light with something that is kinetic and kind of different, and that's what we got with this trailer. My excitement was kind of low on it because I felt it was too much like Left 4 Dead, and I was wondering if like maybe we're kind of over that, because Back 4 Blood didn't really hit the way that I think we all kind of thought that it would, right? Like, I think that collectively as a community, we were excited for it and then tried it. And then it was like, it's like maybe that time is gone. Right. And maybe that time for this type of cooperative shooter is over. We'll see. I don't know. But that's kind of how I felt. Right. So, but definitely was a great way to start it off, with a game that hopefully some people will enjoy and they can try it out because it's on Game Pass.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm going to try it. It's on Game Pass.
Right.
But
you might as well.
I mean, I think what Redfall has going for it that kind of sets it apart from those Left 4 Dead likes and stuff like that is the writing. I mean, Arcane has fantastic writing chops behind them, with the Dishonored series and stuff. So I don't know. I think I'm going to like this game because to the antithesis of everything that we've been saying, I'm so darn sick of zombies that maybe just a different enemy type is gonna help me out here. So, and I also like the quirks and I liked the humor a little bit, Shareef. But at the end of the day, like I also like that here, it's not going to be just gunplay, but you have special abilities and stuff like that. Yeah. Kind of like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which I've played a little bit of. So yeah, moving on, guys. This is a big one. Hollow Knight Silk Song is Game Pass day one. I think that's the biggest one. And then also like this is just a highly anticipated sequel that has somewhat of a release date now. Xbox did say that this showcase was the next 12 months. So people who are Hollow Knight fans can look forward to Silksong coming in with the next 12 months. So Shareef, you had the biggest whoop there.
I mean,
what it is.
I mean, like Hollow Knight was one of my games, like potential game of the years when it came out. Was super excited for this. Even though I like this a lot more than Redfall, I don't feel like you could start with something like this. It's an indie darling for sure, and I'm glad that they got it. Yeah. at first I was like, why this on Game Pass? Everybody knows this is the greatest game, but I was like, no, not really. It's just, like people that know it love it, but it's very niche, and I think has a small thing in terms of mainstream like success. So I'm hoping that more people kind of get this. I hope that they also, I don't know if Hollow Knight is on Game Pass, the original one, but I hope that if it's not, that they do put that on there as well along with this. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have not played this game, it's a very challenging 2D platformer, beautiful music, great story. It's just this is one of those games like when like Metroid Dread came out. Even though I love that game, I was like, well, they've kind of done this better in some of the other recent games, and I think Hollow Knight is one of them that just nailed that just nails the modern 2D platformer. It's phenomenal, and it's really challenging. It's like pretty. It could be pretty brutal at parts.
Yeah. I started Hollow Knight. I think I need to go back to it because again, listeners, my journey, and you guys here do as well. I started Hollow Knight during a time where I wasn't really into those games. So now that I'm more so into these types of games, probably get back into it. So, I'm just gonna move on because I know you two aren't Hollow Knight stans. So, High on Life.
Oh no, I'm excited for it.
Oh, you are?
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for it. But keep going.
Wait, you are? I didn't know you played Hollow Knight.
Yeah. Keep going.
Cicero, are you excited for Hollow Knight Silksong?
Yes, I am. I'm excited for Hollow Knight Silksong. Because it's going to be in Game Pass.
Oh my goodness! So I sense a theme here.
Exactly what they want you to say.
I'll play it.
Yes,
it's going to be in Game Pass.
It's a game. He'll play it. Anyway, High on Life, which was the reason why it was kind of at the front of the show here before Sarah Bond came on was. This is a first-person shooter made from the Rick and Morty creators. So certainly if you like that type of humor, Justin, got a comment on this?
It looked funny. I don't like the show, but it looked good. It looked funny. First-person shooter with comical, cartoonish graphics. I immediately recognized the voice, and I was like, oh, this is a Rick and Morty game. Okay. and then it didn't cease to... It looked good. It definitely did. I'll play it. If it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, so remember when I said that the Redfall humor fell flat for me? This hit me, and I don't even watch Rick and Morty. I've never seen like an episode of it, but this humor got me. I was laughing at this thing, seeing these like googly-eyed guns, like
they're like talking to
like he's shooting like his babies out of
He's like, don't worry, I'll make more.
Right, they're easy to make.
He's like a talking knife that's like stab. Like I was like, okay. I was laughing through it. I thought it. I mean, I don't know if the gameplay is going to be good or anything like that, but it seems interesting enough to at least check out if it's on Game Pass. So,
Cicero, I don't want to move on without your permission.
Don't move on. This game was my favorite game of the show.
Really?
So I just finished watching Rick and Morty, the entire series. I just started. I came to it late. I think in the last 6 months I've finished Rick and Morty. Started and finished Rick and Morty. Loved the show. Thought the show was great. Loved this humor. Had no idea that this game was even an idea. And I loved every moment of it. I am champing at the bit to play this game.
Okay.
I'm very, very excited.
Awesome. Can I move on?
You can move on now because I've said that I'm excited for it.
You know, it reminded me of that gun from Cyberpunk. You know that gun in Cyberpunk? I was like, I was like, the whole trailer's like just rolling on that gag for the entire trailer.
Yes.
And it worked.
Yeah,
it worked.
But I was with it. Yeah, it worked. It worked all the way.
All right, Shareef, to confirm for you, Hollow Knight is on Game Pass. Riot Games making an appearance here, which was pretty awesome. League of Legends stuff and all that, the Legends of Runeterra, like all of their stuff is going to Game Pass. Now, although Valorant and stuff like that are free to play, if you are a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, it is unlocking all the legends and all the characters and all of the stuff that you
And
are
an
able
XP
to
boost.
use. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a really cool partnership. I think it just goes to show that Microsoft wants to commit building the Game Pass platform for mobile as well, which Riot Games is heavily into the mobile scene. So,
Well, it's also the other signal that it's making is that Microsoft is saying we are, like, in the same way that Disney is trying to capitalize entertainment, right? Like, oh, entertainment, it's us, right? Like everything that you love, 90% of what you love, we own. That's what Microsoft is trying to do with Game Pass, right? Like if you want to play games, you just come, all you gotta do is come to Game Pass. We've got the rest of it, right? Like it's all here. Wherever you play, whether it be on mobile, whether it be on PC or on console, where you want to play games is with us. You come to us.
and as you've stated before, all for a $15 a month subscription. So I think it's, we joke about it. It is the best deal in gaming, but it is also the most accessible or approachable. It's the cheapest way to get into amazing games. So a Plague Tale's Requiem, so a Plague's Tale Requiem, sorry, I put the S in the wrong spot. This is coming to Game Pass day one. Really highly anticipated sequel. So the original Plague Tale is in Game Pass if you want to play that. Guys, I thought Forza Motorsport showed pretty well at the presentation.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
this was the most technically impressive demo for a video game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Really?
Right. Like it was just from just like oh yeah, like this is what you spent all this money on these consoles. This is what it can do.
Yeah.
Here it is, right? Like this is when it's working, this is what it looks like.
I definitely want to rewatch it when they post it's probably already up, but when they post the 4K,
right, the 4K, the 4K version of it,
on YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
This is the game that I feel like explains ray tracing better than any technical thing you can read about it. Like when you see the reflections off that car,
right.
you're like, okay,
right. Well, that was it. That was when I was like, oh, okay, I get ray tracing, right? Like, oh, those reflections are natural based on where the camera is. So, like, if I was right there, that's exactly what I would be seeing. Yeah. And the light, when it hits it does,
it does things. It does
yeah,
things.
I mean, that was the first technical demo that I've seen with real ray tracing, which is what they said it was. 4K footage, and then their new thing that they made, dynamic time of day, which changes each race based on the time of the day and also how long you've been in that race course. The vegetation grows, the reflection off cars, and the thing that sells me is when they said the mirrors reflect. Then I'm like, okay, all right, we get rear mirror access.
Yeah.
And
the fact that
go ahead, sorry.
that they're adding fuel and tire wear and tear is fine, but the fact that they're adding fuel to these races is another thing that you didn't necessarily have, and obviously it's going to be something that you can toggle off. But the fact that it's there is pretty great, and to have that there and to have all the other stuff surrounding that is pretty remarkable.
I just really hope the prices are down in there.
Yeah, it's going to cost a fortune to fill up your car during those races.
It's tied to the real world market. So.
Microtransactions. Here we go.
Yeah, right. Unlimited fuel for $6.59 a month.
Yeah, there we go. 2 laps
Justin,
a day.
Are you gonna re-download Flight Simulator and try this Pelican?
Yes. I am. Not just, what was it? It's the 40th anniversary coming November 22nd this year. The Halo Infinite Pelican, or the Halo series Pelican.
Yeah.
And helicopters.
Is available
Helicopters
now.
is huge too.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to be able to hover around natural stuff. It's a big download, but I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and do it because the game is phenomenal.
It's great.
Halo Pelican is available right now, so if you guys want to download it, just go ahead and do that. Shareef, I know you joked about it before, but here it is: Overwatch 2, free to play, the unnecessary sequel.
Yeah, I mean, they announced early access, which is great. New character, Junkrat's, like a Junker Queen. If you're familiar with Junkrat from the original game. I've seen these videos where they've tried to explain what is changing in Overwatch 2, and I still just don't quite get it. Now I know that there's going to be a lot of I believe there's crossplay between the two games for certain modes and stuff like that. So it's not like they're completely splitting their player base. I don't know. I hope that they prove me wrong. Like I hope that I pick it up and I'm like, wow, this feels really, really fresh and new, because I really got a lot of good years out of Overwatch.
Yeah.
I mean,
so there's only 5 players per team now, and then you can only have 1 tank per team, whereas Overwatch 1 you could have multiple tanks. So that is.
Yeah. Like they're trying to get rid of a lot of those esports strategies where everybody played the exact same way, and kind of made the games a little boring.
Aura History Untold comes to PC Game Pass, which is kind of like an Age of Empires like
real-time strategy
game, real-time strategy. So, but it's not Age of Empires. But it is a PC Game Pass and Windows PC exclusive. So
I signed up for the early access for the insider program for this. Cool. I'm super excited about this one as well.
There you go. Nice. Elder Scrolls Online High Isle is a new expansion that is coming June 21st.
Next week.
Yeah. I played a little bit of this, but haven't really played it. As well as Bethesda is bringing out The Pit for Fallout 76, which The Pit is a classic Fallout 3 location, and it is coming to the service game. And
shout out to them for sticking with Fallout 76. They had a really rough launch, really rough year, I would say, probably. I mean, all I heard about was trash about that game for probably like a good 9 to 12 months. And, they really stuck with it. And they're still kind of committing to giving it a spot at a conference like this. I thought that even if they were still releasing stuff, I didn't think that they'd be giving conference time to it. You know what I mean? But I feel I really like when companies believe in their stuff, even if they have tough launches. So shout out to
Bethesda. We'll talk about another game later on.
Yeah,
we did the exact same thing.
Forza Horizon 5 getting Hot Wheels DLC. Hot Wheels are coming back, and I gotta tell you, those orange tracks around those Mexico mountains, those look pretty fun. So, yeah,
and that's July.
July. I don't know if it's not clear if the DLC is just coming to Game Pass. I don't think so. I think this is
no. So if you purchase the premium edition, which you could have purchased just the add-on, I believe that was one of the first games where you could do it. So you had the Game Pass edition, and you could just buy the add-on, $60.
Yeah. I believe that's what I did.
The pass.
Yeah.
Then you get it.
Yeah.
So you'll get it with that, but otherwise it is DLC, paid DLC.
Yeah.
Arc 2. We got Vin Diesel trailer. We got a shirtless Vin Diesel and a shirtless Rock throughout the weekend. So
That Rock appearance was
that was something else, right?
super weird. But yeah, Ark is one of those games I always wanted to try. Like I've watched streams of it and it looks interesting.
Yeah.
I've just never like dug into it. I thought this trailer was actually. I was actually like, wow, I was pretty into it.
Instead, so what I've heard, Shareef, is I would try the original Arc as soon as possible because this is. I've read some articles that this is completely different from the original. So I don't know. Definitely try it out. I texted Justin earlier. So Justin, you're commenting on this. Scorn. Scorn looks like the grossest game I've ever like. I am a horror fan, but I will stick to watching these types, not controlling this type of game. Justin, you like being grossed out?
Yeah, it's kind of like if Rob Zombie, Clive Barker, all of the horror directors, came up and had a baby. This would be it, and then allowed you to control that baby. It's gross, it's bloody, it's disgusting looking, but it's got that art style that just hooks me, and it's like Bloodborne, that art style, that gothic kind of darkness, a little bit of like alien-esque kind of feelings. It'll be a fun ride. I'm excited. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to not puke because I have a strong stomach, but enjoy the entire trip. And I've played some gross games before, so this is going to be one of the high points there on that list for sure. But it looks good.
Cicero,
in October, I think, right?
Yeah, October 21st. Cicero, this is a day one download for you, right?
No, man, I'm just gonna hit the cloud. I'm gonna hit. I can't be wasting time downloading this game. I got to play it as quickly as possible. This is
all code for
xCloud
he's
for
not
me.
Playing it.
It's xCloud for me.
It's a game. Duck's gonna play
it. Duck's gonna he's gonna play it in my honor.
Cicero, you kind of came out of the blue with having that Rick and Morty game as your game of the show. This is my game of the show, Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. This game looked dope. I loved the little furry creature that is along the ride with you. Like, man, I loved the presentation here. Anybody else get those same vibes?
It looked good.
Okay.
I thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the I like the protagonist. The trailer made me feel like they wanted us to think this game was a lot cooler than it was. But here's the thing, again, because it's going to be in Game Pass, I'm going to give it a shot, right? Like, I'm going to remember the trailer and say, all right, well, you know what? Let me check this game out and see what this game's all about. And it may actually be good. All right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is kind of giving me like Kena Bridge of Spirit vibes, or even Horizon Zero Dawn a little bit. I didn't play Forbidden West, but I really just appreciate the type of movement style and the type of variety to the combat that this trailer portrayed. And again, I gotta praise the showcase a little bit because they showed a lot of gameplay. It wasn't a lot of cinematic trailers here, and this was a cool thing to know that this type of game, a type of game that I really enjoy, is coming day one to Game Pass. Even I mean, there was an axe, so obviously clearly God of War vibes as well with that too. So, all right, Minecraft Legends coming out, another game from Mojang's studio there. So, unclear if this is going to be multi-platform like Minecraft Dungeons was. I'm not not so certain, but this will be released Game Pass day one. Justin, you were saying that you were gonna try this out when it comes out.
Yeah, of course. Any Minecraft different aspect. I've heard some rumors going around that it might be an RTS kind of style game. I'm okay with that. Changing up the view and making it.
Yeah, it's going to be a strategy game.
I think it's action strategy. I think it's more. I think it's more like an Elder Scrolls Online or that type of thing instead of RTS. It's just the vibe that I got.
Regardless, any swing or change of view on Minecraft alone, there's a lot you can do in the Minecraft world. It's basically create your own story, so they can do whatever they want, and it'll be unique for sure. So why not?
All right, a space Stardew Valley called Lightyear Frontier. I mean, a little bit of mixture of Titanfall, a little bit of mixture of Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley Titanfall.
Stardew Valley Titanfall, farming simulator. Justin, you're our resident simulator guy. I think this is kind of up your alley.
I was getting some good vibes from it, watching them water the plants and harvesting and then driving across and going somewhere else. You know, it's the relaxing, chill simulation game with the new coat of paint, and that's okay with me. You know, make it not as simulation to something that we actually do, but also make you do, you know, chores. That's normally what it is.
Chores.
Yeah, that look cool.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Gunfire Reborn, a shoot 'em up roguelike that will release in October 2022. Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Yeah, that looks good.
Well, so before Gunfire Reborn, I just want to say I didn't get it from the trailer, but just one of my friends on Twitter called it Gauntlet with Guns, and if it's that, then yeah, I'm with it. Okay, like, you know, let me get 3 friends together and let's do that for a little. Mm-hmm. That sounds cool.
Yeah, 4-player co-op. Xbox Game Pass day one. I've been really into the indie scene recently, so The Last Case of Benedict Fox really looked interesting to me.
Yeah,
with this kind of like art style Metroidvania game.
Yeah,
that
one definitely caught my attention.
It kind of looks like Flashback. So I was excited for that. I thought it was at first. I thought it was like maybe another version of Flashback or something like that, or Out of This World or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it looked great. It looked like a game that I thought was like from the Devolver, like a Devolver type game. But yeah, that's definitely that's like one of my like probably top games from this show. Was what like top surprises I should say was that one.
As Dusk Falls, interactive narrative game. So,
this game looks so crazy.
You know, when I watched the trailer,
I couldn't really handle the art style. But Justin, go ahead. Sorry.
So like when I watched the trailer, I thought my internet is pretty crappy, so I thought my internet was lagging. And it wasn't a clean-cut animation, but then I realized, oh, that's the art style, and they're just doing that for the story. It's a narrative journey. It's got some, you know, action involved, some mystery. It looked okay, unique. It's worth a play. It's going to come this year, I believe, July as well. This is one of the closest
July
dates.
19th.
Yeah, so we don't have to wait long. Get it on Game Pass. Try it out. Yeah. And no, it's not your TV or your internet. That's what it looks like.
Naraka Blade Point, which is a cross-play battle royale, melee battle royale, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now on Xbox. It was on something else.
It will be on Xbox on June 23rd. So. We have Pentiment, which is a narrative-driven crime story game that is set in 16th century Bavaria, and that's Obsidian. This started kind of like the Obsidian stuff here. So.
Give it to me now. Give it to me now.
You're all about the Pentiment?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who's the writer? Because he's lauded as a really good writer for Obsidian. I forget his name.
He did the New Vegas, didn't he? Josh Sawyer.
Josh Sawyer.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a highly anticipated game for people who follow that writer. So, Cicero is going to enjoy that one. Not my cup of tea, but who knows? Grounded is finally hitting his 1.0 access. Wow, I can't speak. I saw the word access, but now it's 1.0 release in July or in September. Oh my goodness. All right. I'll see you guys later.
So Grounded, you get shrunk by people, and now you're fighting bugs.
Yeah.
And now it's finally going to be total gameplay, right? Full story?
Mm-hmm. Full story.
Like, I remember when they announced this game like 2 years ago, and I can't believe it's just now. I'm hoping they got a lot of feedback and went to improve it, because when I first played it, it was pretty rough.
But you played it in like August of 2020.
Yeah, exactly. I played it like not too far after they first put it, because in early access. So I don't know. I'm again, this is another one I was kind of shocked that was revealed at this conference. That seems like something that would just be like a press release.
Yeah. Also, side note, I don't know if he's going to be listening to this episode, but Cam Hawkins, man, you must have freaked out several times in this showcase because there were spiders all over the place, and I know you're scared of spiders. So, oh my goodness.
I've played a little of Grounded. Grounded reminds me of Ark. I've played very little of both of those games. A lot of those games are nope for me. A lot of it has to do with the fact that there is a lot of grinding in that game. And, depending on the amount of time that you have to game, you only have one grindy game. Yeah. Right? Like you only have the room for one grindy game in your life.
From the trailer, though, it kind of seemed like Grounded, at least the story mode, is kind of switching to a more linear path. So maybe you don't have to grind too much. But
who knows? Who knows, right? Like, up until this point, I've only played pre-narrative. Yeah. So, and that is, it's about building, it's about surviving right in your backyard with spiders and ants and all sorts of other things. So
all right,
but I'm happy that it's getting a 1.0.
Also, by the way, if you are scared of spiders, they do have an arachnophobia mode where you can change them basically into potatoes. So
deadly potatoes.
Yeah.
Right. The potatoes are after
Are
me.
the potatoes with legs? Because that would be even freakier to me.
No. I'm just graphically, they turn into just like a blob.
Oh man, have you ever seen potatoes when their roots grow back in on the potato? Oh, those are more terrifying than spiders.
Oh, you ever seen Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? That's what I'm getting vibes of right here. And they're just
Also had a really weird cartoon version of that I remember for some reason. They had like
yeah, in the 90s.
That's why they turned that into a cartoon.
But I'm thinking potatoes now.
Anyway,
another game that I'm kind of excited for is Shenaniman is Shenaniban Shadow Legacy. Arabin Shadow Legacy set to release in 2023. This looked awesome. It's kind of like you're using the shadows to be a little bit stealthy, but then like jump out and murder robots. So, and I gotta assume that this was Justin's game of show, Diablo 4.
Oh yeah,
this looked
100%
phenomenal.
This was
great.
Really
two things. One, character customization, awesome. Number two, open world. What?
Open world Diablo.
Open world Diablo.
Talk to me.
Jeez. And they showed it with a necromancer tease. That's great. This is when my daughter walked in the room and then walked directly out of the room during the showcase, and I was screaming. So she came in to see what was up, and then she screamed and ran away.
This definitely made me want to break out Diablo 3.
I played a lot of Resurrected Diablo 2s, and I started Immortal, which is the mobile / PC game that just came out a little while ago. And this said on Xbox, and PC. And I was like, that's Blizzard, that's Activision. Let's go. Let's get it. And
will not be day one Game Pass though.
yes, true. Not day one Game Pass,
This
but
will
still.
be
Well, this game doesn't need Game Pass.
Nope. It's going to sell like hotcakes.
It doesn't.
Yeah. It looked
Been
good.
waiting for this for a long time.
But yeah, coming on every single platform, including Switch. Now, I would be willing to bet that the Switch is probably going to be a later date after, because that, I mean, from just even seeing what we saw, I think your Switch might explode if you try to play this game.
It'll be like the satchel that blew up in Mike's hands while he was trying to light a fuse.
Yeah, this will be a satchel in Sniper Elite 5.
It's like a weapon in the game. Like you throw Switch out there and try to run the game.
Yeah, Diablo 4, man, looks so good. I'm so stoked. 4-player co-op, obviously, still, and those big like world bosses that we could all do. Like,
Yeah.
again, a lot of these games, like, I'm super stoked to just like play with the Test Your Mic crew here and just hang out. So, Sea of Thieves gets a season 7. Ravenlock.
Big highlight on that one was the name of the boat that I read. When they customized the name,
Yes.
it was Booty McBooty.
Booty Mc.
What is it?
Yes.
I wrote it down.
Booty McBootface.
Yes, face.
Yes, Booty McBootface. I mean, the fact that they're allowing you to name your boats is such a like duh moment, right? That was missing from the game. You could do all of this customization to your boat, but you couldn't name your boat. And now you're inviting your crew onto your ship. And it's not just your ship. It's, come aboard the Booty McBootface. and now you're aboard my ship. Yeah. That's so great. And then the trailer was fantastic with the song.
Oh yeah, it was so funny.
It was very, very good. Talking about games as a service and, game that had wasn't necessarily rough. It wasn't Fallout 76 levels of rough, but it definitely was underwhelming. And Sea of Thieves is a phenomenal game, phenomenal and complex game now.
Yeah.
It really added a lot to it.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that's still around.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rare.
Download on Game Pass. Yeah. All right. Gonna get through some of these here pretty quickly. Ravenlock, kind of. I had like Alice in Wonderland vibes. Kind of like this pretty 3D action adventure game. Cocoon, sci-fi puzzle game from Jep Carlson, who
the
is
Limbo guy.
the Limbo
Really looking forward
Inside.
to this. Really looking forward to this one.
This was another game of show for me as well. Like super good. This one, 2023 release date, not coming to Game Pass day one, but it would be a solid purchase regardless. So, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which is from Team Ninja.
Finally,
this started a segment of like talking about Japanese partnerships and stuff like that. So really cool. Confirmed day one for Game Pass. This also has the creative minds of Bloodborne behind it as well. So, so many people are surprised that Persona is coming to Xbox before it went to Switch. Persona 5 Royale coming this fall to Game Pass nonetheless. So all three of these are going to Game Pass. Yeah, you love to see it. So
yeah, when it said Atlas, I was like, oh no, here it comes.
All right, Kojima and Xbox. The long rumored partnership is finally here. So they didn't say anything.
Nope.
So
prepare for a game in 10 years.
Yes,
Right,
it's gonna be
right.
Silent Hill.
The rumor was that it was like a cloud type game. So definitely going to be utilizing Azure like crazy. I'm assuming. So
will the next Xbox platform be out before this game releases?
That's a good question, Cicero. Next question.
All right, Starfield. No, I mean to be honest, I would say no. I would say no. I think that with the cloud infrastructure that they are building within the next, I would say even 2 years, like I think that if that's really what this game is about, I think that it could hit this. I think it could hit the series consoles. So.
Yeah, but they still have to make a game, right? Like you've got a concept for a game. They have to make a game. I don't think that I don't doubt that the technology is.
He is a wheelhouse, and he's got the idea and the creative juices flowing. That's for sure.
Right. But yeah,
and they'll give him the budget.
Oh,
right,
definitely.
Right. Mm-hmm. But a game like a Kojima game takes 4 years.
Yeah, this is like a next generation. This will be on the next generation of hardware.
Right? 4 years, probably 5 to be made.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think they had something and they were being cagey about it. I don't think they have anything.
Right.
I think it's purely in the concept stage right now.
Right.
They did want to announce that the partnership was happening, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, Death Stranding took about 3 years to make.
I feel like it had to take longer than
And aren't they making a sequel?
No, development 3 years.
Well, that is right, but that is from the moment they were like, and start coding, right? And you're off.
Yeah.
We're not even there, right? Like this is the moment where he had the idea of what Death Stranding could be. Mm-hmm. That's what we just got.
Now, I don't know. I think he has a concept of what the game is, and they've probably worked on it. This was just the official announcement that they.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think so.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he would have teased it if that was the case. I think there would have been a short tease.
No.
Or a name drop or something.
No, well,
there doesn't have to be a short case. Not even a name drop. Just the fact that you have Hideo Kojima working with Xbox is all you need. It's all you need. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't started. Like, what has he been doing since Death Stranding?
Thinking about
on his butt.
Thinking about right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. He was thinking about other games, thinking about what the next thing could be. But like, just because you've thought about it, right? That doesn't mean.
I bet there's
that
something
doesn't
made.
mean.
I bet there's some concepts.
I think Mike has some juicy background, some.
I do.
Info, I think.
I do.
Like I said,
concepts. I got lots of concepts for stories. I got lots of them. You want to hear them? I got concepts.
No, we don't have time.
Yeah.
Right. Well, but like.
No, like I said, great question.
That doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
Let's talk Starfield.
All right, Shareef, start us off. Starfield.
I mean, obviously, I figured they would either start or end with this. I know that. So there's been this whole phrase of this being Skyrim in space, since it was first announced. I've been generally pushing against that because I really don't think that's what they're trying to make. I really
Fallout in space.
Yeah, I really think that they're trying to make like a Space Marine game, and from watching this trailer, I mean, that's what it kind of looked like to me. It looked like No Man's Sky with some some bad first person shooting, I should say, in it. I was shocked that they showed choppy, generic first-person shooting against people named Pirate. I was very shocked because
they were pirates.
Because like I was like, okay, they're gonna show like something They're gonna show something innovative. Like if they show anything, they're gonna like show something. And what they showed in the gameplay part, I mean, it was it. I don't think it lived up to we're closing the show with this, personally. The story trailer stuff, I think that's all they should have shown. I thought the story trailer stuff was great. That got me way more excited than seeing you scan materials and then switch to like the most generic shotgun and auto rifle I've ever seen, and just shoot people named Pirate. Like, I don't know, it was just that I just thought it didn't. I thought that part didn't show well, but I thought that the storytelling part was good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily think you go to Bethesda, like Fallout and stuff like that for like its first person shooting aspects. I think you're right. It's about the story and kind of like the world building and exploring. I don't know. I think that, I think they got a lot of work to do. I think I agree with you. Like even the sliding, like when the character like slid into one of the pirates to shoot, it just like looked awkward and it didn't
look show ready to me.
Yeah. I just hope it's not another like Craig situation, So Cicero.
So you guys have very valid critiques that are that I didn't necessarily think about, but I agree with completely. What I didn't like was the promise that it was showing, right? It did look like No Man's Sky to me, but it also reminded me of Elite Dangerous, right? Like it reminded me of these space sims. So I did see the first person shooting and it wasn't that great. It kind of looked like Cyberpunk to me, right? Like it didn't look skilled in any way. It just looked like you would just, throw point takeawayers at things at pirate. And so it's like, whatever. But that's not what the game's about. The game is about the story. The game's about exploring. The game's about going to these guilds. The game's about building your ship. The game is about building your settlement and hiring the NPCs that will be running your settlement. And like all of these other things. And all of these other things is like everything. 1,000 landable planets that are, some of which are inhabited, but you can land anywhere on the planet and the entire planet isn't going to be inhabited. But there's going to be stuff for you to find potentially in all of these places. And like I can customize my version of my avatar with my own unique backstory where I've created a ship that is purpose built for the things that I want to do. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that they're going to be able to deliver competently on all of the things that they've said that they're going to do. Like this is Peter Molyneux vibes, right? Like this is what's the dude from when Spore, if you guys, the kids, you guys don't remember this, but when the Spore demo, Will Wright came out and he talked about Spore and all the different things that you could do with Spore, and your mind was blown at the wonder and how limitless it seemed like you were going to be able to, you could go from a zygote to an entire civilization that was uniquely yours, and it didn't live up to that. And I can't believe that Starfield is going to be the game that it says that it's going to be.
I literally said to my TV, there's space combat in this game too. There's just so much stuff. I sent the Titanic gift to you guys earlier. It's going to take me 84 years to complete this game. Justin, Starfield.
Cicero spoke from my heart for most of that. That was literally what I wanted to say. Yes, ambitious. It's very, very ambitious, but it is Bethesda. And yeah, there might be bugs here and there, but I highly doubt they're not going to deliver. I think, I have faith that they're going to deliver. Yes, there are tons upon tons. It's like as if you're getting cake and you're getting the ice cream on top and you're getting a brownie on top and you're getting cookies on top and then sprinkles and a cherry. And it kept going and you just kept feeling that rush of like, but wait, there's more. And literally that's what happened. And then they showed the base creation and then they showed the ship creation and then they showed custom character creation to the T. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, this is the game. I sent to the group as well. This is No Man's Sky plus Elite Dangerous times 50. That's literally the ambition that it has. And if it delivers, it's going to be a good ride. That's for sure. The game is all about adventure. It's about exploration. And that's what I think the video was strong at. I think those were the strong points of the video. Mm-hmm. And the gunplay, sure, it's part of the game, but that's not really the focus. It's more about exploring and finding those shards or those mineral, whatever it was, to piece it together and understand the story. It's going to be good. It's unique. I don't think Bethesda's going to miss.
Yeah, Shareef, you were going to say something?
Why show the gunplay then? That's my only question.
It's part of the game. They want to show everything because it's everything.
Like they could have showed like a 2-second clip of you shooting some guy and say, okay, there's gunplay in it. Not like, I understand they wanted to show gameplay. They want to show diversity of gameplay. I get that, but I don't know. Maybe it just hits me in a weird way. But I'm just like, there's so many good shooters out there. Like, don't show it unless it's like.
So Elite Dangerous is one of my favorite games of all time, right?
You don't say.
But there is but if I wanted to show you a trailer of Elite Dangerous, there is no version of the game that is representative of what you're going to be doing the most in the game that would entice you into playing it. Mm-hmm. Right? The only way for me to get you to play the game is to show you action sequences, which are things that happen, but in terms of the percentage of time that you spend in actual combat, it's like single digit percentages versus doing everything else, most of which is like exploring or mining or something to that effect.
That's what you mean.
So like if I'm going to show a trailer, I've got to show some kind of combat.
Mm-hmm. I love the ambition that is behind this. I just personally, in the season of life that I am in, I don't know if I have the time to dedicate to this type of ambition. And so I really, really hope that there is, what we say is a critical path. I really hope that there is a way to experience kind of the story without exploring the hundreds,
just like with every Bethesda game, the main mission is always at the top. You just follow that and go through. That's with every Bethesda game that I've played. Even No Man's Sky has that, so you can nose beeline straight towards that story if that's what you're looking for. But if you want to go back and experience it all, it's there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just I personally think that the shooting should be fixed just fine. And if it's not, then I think that it seems to be that there's a level of flexibility that you can go about your combat. So maybe there's a certain gun that will fit, a different style that you could play or something like that. Or, I think I do want to go back and watch the 4K trailer of this again. I think that like watching a live stream certainly undercuts some of the value and the beauty of some of those worlds that they were showing. So definitely want to go back and rewatch that. But all right, guys. That was the Xbox Bethesda showcase. Listeners, let us know down in the comments what you thought about the showcase. Maybe what your game of the show is. Maybe what you thought should have been here, what was missing from the show. Just let us know. Let us know what you thought of our thoughts as well. So, You guys, we're running a little long on time here, so we're going to do one debate, and then we'll get to the leaderboard section. So let's see here. I think I want to go this one because I think that I think this is going to be the most fun here. So from the past 2 weeks, what is the most promising new IP? So listeners, this is Test Your Might, our namesake. These three are going to debate what is the most promising new intellectual property, and I'm going to choose a winner. Whoever wins this debate wins today's episode. So,
the one and done.
One and done. It's, I mean, there was just so much to talk about. Sorry, listeners. Maybe we can get a little more debate next week, but so much to talk about. So let's have these guys throw down on this one last question. What is the most promising new IP? Shareef, you're our guest, so you have the power. Would you like to go first, second, or third?
Third.
Third. All right. Who goes first?
Do I choose that, or?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got all the power.
I'll say Justin's first.
All right, Justin goes first. Justin, what
Cicero
new IP
goes
is the
after
most
me,
promising? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with Curveball here. It's going to be called Nightingale, and that's a PC Steam Epic game. Nightingale. Nighttingale.
Little opening salvo, why?
What? Sure. It's a Victorian kind of like open world game, multiplayer game. You customize your character in a Victorian-esque outfit, shooting, magic, working together to craft realm cards to affect your realm and open portals. It is one of the largest universes that I've ever heard of. The quote was 1 million realms, one universe. And I feel like that is very ambitious, very huge, and the art gun style of the gameplay, it looked pretty cool and unique, and it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to.
Cicero.
All right. So the question was, what is the most promising new IP?
That was the question.
It's High on Life. The new game coming from the guys who made Rick and Morty. Am I telling you why, or am I just
a small opening salvo? Yeah.
Because the art style is unique but approachable. The writing is smart and very funny, and it's all wrapped up in something that is digestible, which is a first-person shooter. People know first-person shooters, but here's some other parts to it that make it different and unique, and refreshing.
Shareef, most promising new IP.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cocoon. I think that obviously comes from some good stock in terms of the previous games, but also I think unlike those games, it just seems a little bit like the art style seems a little more vibrant. Actually reminds me quite a bit of Death's Door, which was like both dark and bright kind of at the same time, like depending on what stage that you were on. And it's one of those games that, at least from the trailer, like looks approachable, but based on the other games, I know there's some deep mechanics in there, you know, that like you really have to kind of understand to have that feeling of like accomplishment when you get through a certain puzzle. So yeah, I think Cocoon is a good choice here.
Justin, rebuttal.
I think the big part about mine, Nightingale, that differs from the other two is the ambitiousness, if that's a word. I feel like it has a lot of different elements of gameplay that are scoping out the game scope, or the game realm in the sense. I feel like it's got multiplayer where you're not fighting against each other but working together as a community. I feel like it's got the survival and crafting and exploration, really of going through a portal and seeing something completely different from the last portal you were in. and also seeing it alongside with your friends. I think that's a big part of it. The Rick and Morty game, High on Life, great choice. I just think it's kind of it's going to get old quick. I feel like you're going to go through it. You're not going to have a lot of replayability. You're going to have that gunplay, the humor, just like the show. But I feel like that replayability is going to skew. And along with Cocoon, it's a great choice. I believe that's the one that's made by the Limbo guy, which I'm a huge fan of. But also, I don't see myself going back and playing Limbo. There's no new content to Limbo. With mine, Nightingale, you have that, new content coming and service game quality of always having something new to do and with new people. So you're not limited to yourself as a solo. You can play it like that, but it's more as a scope of multiplayer and working together to accomplish a goal.
Cicero rebuttal? Yeah, so we're people of the world, right? Mm-hmm. And as people of the world, we have lots of interests, some of which is gaming, some of which is other things, right? So when you're playing a game like High on Life, you get to have an experience that is self-contained. You'll play for 10, 12 hours maybe. You'll have a great story. You'll have lots of laughs, maybe a couple of tears, some gasps, and then ultimately a celebration. And then when you're done with that, you can go on about your life and do some other things. You were just saying, Mike, that, you're a dad. You don't have a lot of time to be, playing games and that kind of stuff. Here's a game that you can play. And if you can dedicate 6 2-hour sittings to, you could probably finish this game and really have a great time playing it. And then in 2-3 years, you'll get to play another game from the same creators with another new story that will be enjoyable. But in the meantime, you get to do lots of other things. That's what a great IP that can turn into a franchise is, which I don't think the other two games really have that ability, even though Justin's game is a service game.
Shareef.
It's not a franchise game.
Shareef, rebuttal.
I think to Cicero's point about a franchise game, I think one great thing about Carlson is that they're not trying to make franchises, right? Like they're trying to go in and make one really solid game. And sure, there's some connections and overlap and kind of argument of a shared universe, but they're not trying to make like an IP that has the like traditional like part 2, part 3. So like they're looking to make these singular things, and they've been pretty successful with those. So I don't think not setting up a franchise should be held against it. I think you'll hold that against a lot of games that are trying to do that. But I think that because their bread and butter is making these individualized experiences, I think it actually works in their favor, because for like a players that have already played this, that have already played those earlier games, they kind of know what they're getting into. And for new players, they don't need, oh man, I gotta study up on the lore for this game, or so they kind of have a good balance there. Nightingale, definitely excited, but I also know that as an adult, anytime I see service, I kind of hitch up a bit, just because I feel like for most games they just don't have the resources to really support that adequately. And I know that a lot of people outside of either younger folks or like people that spend a lot of time gaming, you don't really have time to even experience all that content, so like it's there for like people that can really dive into it. But I know that for like young adults, older adults, for like our generation, right, kind of hard to dive in there, just for like timing reasons. So I like all like 3 games, but I'm gonna still go with Cocoon for the number 1 slot here.
Okay. Justin, I'm gonna give you and then Cicero and then Shareef 15 seconds. Final argument. Clock starts when you start talking.
So this is going to be a service game, which might cause a lot of work to be done on it. That's why they have an early access starting in a couple weeks, and then the open close beta is going to be later this year. So you're going to get plenty of time to try it out before it releases and enjoy it, crafting your own world. unique.
Time? Nope. Cicero, 15 seconds.
I'm going to respect your time right now by respecting your time with this game. It is High on Life. It is a great game. And then you play it for 12 hours and you're done. Time.
4 seconds.
Time. It's
All right,
a great
you're done.
game.
Nope.
It's
nope.
yeah.
See, I said you had 4 seconds 4 seconds ago. You know, Cicero, sorry, Shareef, go ahead. 15 seconds.
Inside and Limbo, both highly regarded. They have the experience to deliver another highly regarded game.
8 seconds.
6, 5.
He's counting down. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes.
Cicero, you had a very good point that I don't have a lot of time to play games. Shareef, you also made a very good point about how it's not necessarily about building a franchise. But I think Justin actually takes this one. I think that even though I'm not into live service games, I think that his last 15 seconds, which he utilized very well, and said that they are trying to make this live service game right by having early access and betas. I like that. Argument there, Justin. So Justin's our big winner for the day. Hurrah! All right. Moving on to our leaderboard section, and we are going to rank the top 6 news reveals, whatever you want to call it, from the past 2 weeks. So each of us are going to get 2 choices. So choose 2 reveals, 2 game announcements, 2 news things, whatever. Even if it's a game that you already knew was coming, but just the newness of it from the reveals this past weekend. What were your top 2? So, Shareef, I'm going your way first. Your top 2 for this weekend.
Let's see, Street Fighter 6.
Okay.
Can I does this count to say PSVR 2 in general?
No, that's good. That's an announcement.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like that.
Yeah, because they really.
Yeah.
hard.
Sony State
how
of Play
committed
stuff
they are
can be included in this. So for sure.
PSVR 2.
All right, so Street Fighter 6
I gotta
and
watch that.
PSVR 2.
Yes.
Justin.
It's gonna have to be Dead Space. I'm very excited for that coming early next year. And then
Dead Space?
Yeah, Dead Space, yeah.
Was that? Where was that?
It was on the showcase, I believe. Was it a showcase? Oh.
Which showcase?
No, I meant the game showcase. The game showcase.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, honestly, Diablo 4 hit me hard, but I'm going to go with Starfield. I want to put it up there because that was something I was looking forward to for a very long time now. And, I can't put Fable up there, unfortunately. So Starfield is the one.
All right. Dead Space and Starfield. Cicero.
Yeah, I was going to play with Starfield, but I'm not going to play with that now because you've taken it. But I will play with Diablo 4. Diablo 4. Yeah, whoa. And Forza Motorsports. Forza Motorsport.
Yeah, they didn't even add a number. They just wanted to retag it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's now a service.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Like, this is the game.
Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think this is right, and they'll just
like that,
put out new iterations of this game, right? Because that's what it is, right? Like, it doesn't really
instead
change.
of spending the money
add...
on a new game, just update it. Pretty much, that's what you need to do.
That's in danger of this not being their showcase, fidelity game every generation, though. That's the only risk there.
Well, you just update the engine, right? Because
updating an engine is not a simple. That's usually like you rebuild. Whatever. we'll get into technical stuff, but like
because they're moving all this stuff to the cloud, and all of that engineering and everything will be done.
You can update it right there on the cloud with the patch. So yeah,
by those engineers
re-download the game and you get the newest version.
Right. Yeah.
That's right. Give me cartridges. Come back.
Right.
No.
Anyway, Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn. I really, really like that trailer. Something that I'm looking forward to. And I think I'm going with Shareef and going back to Sony State of Play. Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah, that was my runner-up for sure. That was a good
Resident
one.
Evil 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. So
for sure.
Having the remake, I really have to get to Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. I have not played them, so I really need to get to those before that. But yeah. All right. Shareef, what's your must-have? Street Fighter 6 or PSVR 2?
I think PSVR 2. Like, I really am impressed at how committed Sony is to this. Like, I was not expecting them to be this committed to the product. So
Cool.
And
PSVR 2.
Yeah, and they're tying it to major franchises. Like, they're not just like doing small things on it. I'm actually like, wow, they're really trying to make this happen.
I'm really excited for Village coming out for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. I played 7 on the original PSVR, and that was chilling. So I can only imagine.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It's my cup of tea.
Yeah. Little known story. Cicero installed his bidet close to his gaming machine because he tried Resident Evil 7 on VR.
Wow. Facts.
Thanks. I told you that in confidence.
I would have never shared that. I'm sorry, Cicero.
That is not factual, by the way. I'm just messing with my friend, listeners.
I'm going to go
Justin.
with Dead Space for mine.
Dead Space. Okay.
Yeah, because
right,
I don't think anyone else is here going to play Dead Space remake.
I will. I'm going to.
I mean, I really
loved
enjoyed
it.
the first 2 Dead Spaces.
Okay.
So depending on how it, I don't know. Yeah, I would revisit it for sure. Not part 3 though.
Cicero, which one would you like on there? Must have.
I'm gonna go Forza Motorsport.
Forza Motorsport.
Those are so hard to choose from.
It looks so good. That game looked really good.
And I am going Flintlock. I was really impressed by that demo, and yeah, I'm excited for that game.
And for some reason, Forza Motorsport used, I forgot which Jay-Z song it was, but they used,
use a public service announcement.
Yeah.
Really,
I don't think the Microsoft
allow
executives
me to
know
reintroduce myself.
What, I sold Snowflakes by the OZ.
Snowflakes by the
means.
OZ.
Because I was very surprised that lyric was in the. I was like, I don't think they really listen to that.
Yeah, you can just still call me CEO of the ROC.
Wow. All right, guys, we
I
need
want
a
Diablo
number
4.
5 and 6. Justin's putting up Diablo 4. Anybody against that?
I agree.
Nope.
All right.
I agree.
I am with y'all as well.
When they said open world, my eyes got so big.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And I'm with Starfield.
Yeah, I think Starfield has to be on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that for sure.
That
was going to be my game of November, but apparently it's going to be God of War now. If I get a PS5.
Right.
Boy.
It'll be on PS4.
Mine and Duck's plan worked.
Yeah.
It worked like a charm.
I don't know, man. I want to throw an honorable mention to Resident Evil 4.
I'd also like to throw an honorable mention to Street Fighter 6.
I really struggled between those two because I think
it's tough.
I mean, I know
Capcom's in a renaissance. Man.
Like
they
I know they're always
going
to make. It's not a surprise. Part 6 is coming out, but I don't know, man. Something about it. It looked like 5, I was like, oh, this just looks like 4. Great. But this one looked like very different. That they're like setting it in metro cities, so there's this like idea of what are you like walking around like getting into
right, and all of a sudden
with Cody and Guy,
like a musical. Right.
I don't know. I'm like excited about what they're doing with it, and they have that cool thing where they have like the shoutcasters like in the game, like shoutcasting your matches, which is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why that hasn't been a thing for a long time. That should be.
Yeah, it sounds so cool. Like,
and I'm also glad that it's going back to being multi-platform, because obviously 5 was PlayStation exclusive.
Was PSO,
do you guys think we're gonna get a Mortal Kombat announcement by the end of the year?
I don't know,
because it would be a missed opportunity. I think
I'm personally of the opinion that it's Injustice 3.
It should be
instead of Mortal Kombat 12 if they are following that same pattern. But who knows? Who knows if WB and DC wanted to give them another crack at it? So I'm not sure.
There's going to be a lot of WB or DC related games being released next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know if you throw Injustice
right?
into the mix.
Only one, right?
Well, no, that's right.
Gotham
I guess
Knights
the Gotham Knights is this year.
Is that interesting?
Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, I know Gotham Knights wasn't covered in the thing, but we haven't. I don't know if you guys mentioned it in previous weeks, but like, it's supposed to be a big deal, right? Like,
it's supposed to be.
Well, Gotham.
But then we saw
it.
Gotham Knights was in
saw
Summer Games Fest. Jeff Keighley. They showed the Nightwing trailer, and I don't know, like
I'm just worried about the grind.
Excited. I'm excited for the game. I agree with Justin. I hope it's not a huge grind to like upgrade your character and get through that skill tree.
But I'm not.
No,
I'm feeling like it's going to be like Avengers. You know,
it's sad when it's sad when I'm more excited for Midnight Suns than I am for Gotham Knights.
I'm really excited for Midnight Suns, but
Gotham's been in the news for a long time, and now I'm more excited for Midnight.
Well, the thing with that first gameplay trailer, and I think Cicero is alluding to it, is that like Nightwing looks so like slow, and he did not look fluid. Like the gameplay, just like it didn't look fun. The
enemies look sticky.
Sticky. I don't know. Like, who knows? But I mean, I know using Batman in the Arkham games and even using Nightwing or Robin in those Arkham games, like they were fast. Like the action was fast paced. It felt good. There was a rhythm to your combat, and then like even with Red Hood, like his gameplay, like he's super slow because he's more ranged and like. Yeah.
And
man,
that's who I would be playing.
I just don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna be playing it for sure, but just because it's my game. It's it's my cup of tea. But yeah, there's some things about it. I think I agree with you, Shareef, that just holding back my excitement. I'm not trying to get overhyped for it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I don't want to put the bar too high. That's the problem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. Well, listeners, thanks for sticking with us. This has been a longer than normal episode, but had a lot to get through. Once again, just let us know what you thought of Summer Games Fest, Xbox stuff, Xbox Bethesda stuff. Just let us know. Love to hear down in the comment section. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. We got to get there. Really excited to get there. And yeah, if you're just listening on a podcast app of choice, go ahead and leave a review, especially on Apple iTunes. Leave us a review there. We know that most of you listen there, and so it would really extremely help us get up in all the algorithms and stuff like that.
I just left one.
Yeah. Shareef, we can find you at Shareef Jackson on Twitter, as well as ShareefJackson.com. What have you been up to recently? Let the listeners know. It's been a while.
Yeah. Really the main, I guess, public project I have going on is still streaming Rivals of Waterdeep Dungeons & Dragons. I'm the Dungeon Master for Season 13. If you're familiar with the books, we're getting into Strixhaven, which is essentially like a magical school. So it's pretty fun. Aside from that, I have a couple game consulting projects I can't really talk about. and just teaching teaching my gaming classes and all that stuff. So got some summer classes going. So yeah.
Awesome. And we'll have all his links down in the description below. So please follow Shareef. He's one of our greatest friends here at Test Your Might. So we really appreciate him coming on tonight. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out, Shareef.
Always happy to be here.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Duke of Dopeness.
The Duke
Jackson.
of Dopeness. All right.
Dopeness.
That's good. I like that.
I dig it.
Might be better than the Reef Beef.
The crying
Beef
man.
Reef? Or what was it?
Beefy Reef.
Yeah. All right. For Cicero, you can find him at Stubby Stan on Twitter. For Justin, you can find him at rubberduck_2500 on Twitter. And you can find me, Mike, at Stay at Home Gamer, where the O in home is a 0. This has been Test Your Might, episode 76. And we'll chat with you guys later. Bye.